When my bloom begins, when I start to have 5% bloom, I go through and I mow that field down. I eliminate that food source, and then they'll just automatically, since they're coming to that spot, they're going to automatically go in and stay in the trees and start to pull pollen out of the almond trees. And besides that, my beekeeper can bring them in a little bit earlier. They're going to pull pollen out of this. They're going to start building brood earlier. They should come into a little bit healthier hive status. There should be more frames and more frames of brood, because it's brood that really instigates the bee to go out and get pollen. These trees are everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. Now when I irrigate, I want my water to go down 3 or 4 feet. When we mow this, the roots that are under the ground die. And what they leave behind is these little micro channels that dry up and the water travels down through them. If you think about that root going through the ground, and it would be as if though you could pull that root out, but the little line is still there, and that allows water now to percolate down deeper into the ground. So what cover crops do, or natural grass, is to open up the ground to help the water penetrate in. So if I'm going to have grasses out here growing, I'd rather have a cover crop growing for 2 reasons. First of all, I get some nitrogen benefit from it because it is a legume. But the main reason is grasses are harder to break down later in the summer prior to harvest. The legumes aren't. The legumes fall apart a lot easier. They break down to where the residue at harvest time is very fine residue, and it goes right through the harvester and it blows right out the side. It does not cause a problem. It works really well on non-cultivated ground. It just allows the water to disappear. I can irrigate here and I can put a tractor in here in 3 or 4 days now. Where if it was bare ground, I'd be lucky to put a tractor in 10 days. Mow this, we burn it down, and actually there'll be residue, organic residue here, but as far as I'm concerned, that organic residue actually helps with harvest. Really? There's just something about having a little bit of grass and a little bit of debris that when you sweep, it actually keeps the dust down, because you don't have to sweep up as much dirt. It helps the nuts stay off the floor. It's easier to pick the nuts up off the ground. Being it's a legume, even these stems right here will disappear. They'll explode. This stuff right here is all hollow. It'll dry down like a stringy weed, and then once it sits here for a couple of weeks in this hot weather and we hit it again, it just explodes under the mower. And so we get rid of it in time for harvest. You spray a little bit of nitrogen on top, and not very much, 20-30 units of nitrogen, and it basically deteriorates it. And then you go through and you water it like you water your trees, and then you flood it again, you mow it, and it pretty much makes it all disappear. Mowing, we're spraying. We're going to spray that one to kill whatever grass keeps coming up here in about a month, so we can get it dead, so nothing's growing by harvest time. This thing will be dead, brown, and everything will be mowed up, and it'll just be residue here.